Remember the smell of chalk dust in the air, the whir of a film projector, or the strange purple ink from a fresh mimeograph handout? School in the 1970s was a world of clunky machines, simple tools, and endless curiosity. These weren't just classroom gadgets, each one shaped how kids learned, played, and remembered their childhood. Today, we're looking at 15 school technologies that defined childhood in the 1970s. 1. Film strip projectors. Nothing signaled a break from the usual lesson like the lights dimming and the soft click of a film strip machine. Teachers would turn a knob, advancing the still images while a narrator's voice guided the story. Sometimes the film would jam, and the whole class would laugh. They were replaced in the 1980s by VHS tapes and TVs, but for kids in the 70s, film strips were pure magic. 2. Overhead projectors. Before PowerPoint slides, there was the overhead projector. Teachers wrote on transparent sheets, and the glowing machine threw the image onto the wall. It felt futuristic, like something out of a science fair. By the 1990s, computers and digital projectors made these bulky machines vanish, but their hum and glow remain a core memory. 3. Chalkboards and chalk dust. Every classroom had one, a giant slate chalkboard, covered in white smudges. Teachers' hands would be coated in dust by the end of the day, and erasers had to be clapped clean outside. It was messy, it was noisy, but it was the sound of learning. Dry erase boards eventually replaced them, but chalkboards defined a generation. 4. Mimeograph machines. If you grew up in the 70s, you'll never forget the smell of a freshly printed mimeograph. These purple-inked handouts were made by cranking a machine that pressed ink through a stencil. They weren't perfect, pages often smudged, but they gave schools an easy way to mass-produce worksheets. Photocopiers ended their run, but not their legend. 5. Film projectors. When it wasn't film strips, it was full reels of film. A cart would roll in with a bulky projector, and the room would buzz with excitement. The whirring sound, the occasional reel break, and the smell of heated film filled the room. By the 80s, VHS tapes replaced them, but the ritual of threading film was unforgettable. 6. Slide rules. Before calculators became affordable, students relied on slide rules. These wooden rulers with sliding parts could perform complex math in the right hands. They weren't easy, but mastering one felt like joining a secret club. Once pocket calculators arrived in the mid-70s, slide rules quickly disappeared into desk drawers. 7. Typewriters in the classroom. Typing class was a staple in many schools, and the click-clack of keys filled the air. Mistakes meant using correction fluid or starting over entirely. It was tough, but it built discipline and speed. By the late 80s, computers replaced them, but for many students, the typewriter was the first machine that felt truly personal. 8. Library card catalogs. Finding a book wasn't as simple as typing into a search bar. Students learned to flip through long drawers of index cards, each handwritten or typed. It was slow, but it taught patience and the joy of discovery. Computers eventually replaced card catalogs, but for kids in the 70s, they were a rite of passage. 9. Ditto machines, spirit duplicators. Different from mimeographs, ditto machines used alcohol-based ink, creating that unforgettable smell on handouts. The text came out in a signature purple or blue tone. Students sometimes held papers close just to breathe in the fresh ink scent. Copy machines made them obsolete, but the aroma remains a powerful memory. 10. Classroom globes and pull-down maps. Every classroom had a globe tucked in the corner and giant pull-down maps at the front. Teachers used long wooden pointers to trace rivers and mountain ranges. The maps sometimes curled up on their own, springing back with a snap. Digital maps made them less common, but nothing beats spinning a globe and dreaming of faraway places. 11. Opaque projectors. These lesser-known machines could project pages, photos, or even objects by shining a bright light through them. They were huge, noisy, and often overheated. Still, when one fired up, it felt like seeing everyday objects on the big screen. They were short-lived, but unforgettable. 12. Record players in class. Music, language lessons, even history came alive through vinyl records. The scratch of the needle and the hiss of the record gave every lesson a cozy feel. If the record skipped, the teacher would carefully nudge the arm back in place. Cassettes and CDs replaced them, but records made learning sound alive. 13. Punch cards for computers. In the early days of school computing, some students got their first taste of technology with punch cards. Programs and data were fed into machines through stiff cards with holes. It was slow and confusing, but it felt like stepping into the future. Soon, floppy disks made the process easier, and punch cards faded away. 14. Classroom TVs on rolling carts. When the AV cart rolled in, you knew it was going to be a good day. The TV strapped down on top of a metal cart brought documentaries, news programs, and the occasional special broadcast. The entire class would gather around, squinting at the screen. By the 2000s, flat screens took over, but in the 70s, the AV cart was king. 15. Hand-cranked pencil sharpeners. That whirring sound of grinding pencils was constant background noise. Mounted to the wall, these sharpeners ate pencils down to stubs if you weren't careful. The shavings tray always seemed to overflow, spilling on the floor. Mechanical pencils replaced the ritual, but that grinding crank was the soundtrack of a school day. From film strips to mimeographs, these tools may look outdated now, but back then, they were the heartbeat of the classroom. They remind us of simpler times, when learning felt hands-on and a little bit messy. Which of these school technologies do you remember most? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time on American Rewind.